Success in music depends 1% on talent, 9% on inspiration, and 90% on perspiration. Hey guys, we're taking a look at also Sprach Arnold Jacobs today. So a few weeks ago, if I go over to my shelf, we have, I knew that was going to happen. That's okay though. Arnold Jacobs, Song and Wind, another excellent book. And I had mentioned, I believe on that video, I'd be doing this one. Now this one, a lot of Arnold Jacobs students say this is the go-to. This is a lot better as far as his teaching and philosophies are concerned. That book is a great book as a biography, and with everything else in there too, it's really good. But this book really shows the philosophies and teachings of Arnold Jacobs better, and I would agree to that statement too. This is all compiled by Bruce Nelson, and a lot of this is taken directly from master classes, personal lessons, and Jacobs himself. So that opening section, that opening statement that I said is actually from Bud Herseth, I believe. Yeah, so it's not even an Arnold Jacobs quote. It shows I'm a trumpet player, so I had to throw that in there. But it's good though. It's good saying, you know. Hard work is what takes you in. That's not just with music, that's with anything in life. Hard work is 90% of it. You gotta work your butt off. So I'm gonna briefly go over everything. If you'll notice, normally I do, I put sticky notes all over my book so I can go through and talk about each point. But this time I thought, you know, these are Arnold Jacobs' teachings, and this video is not gonna be enough unless I read the book to you. Buy this book. This book is better than that book. This book is shorter. It's deceptively shorter, though. It's only like not even 100 pages, but these pages are long. You know, there's a lot of, it's not your standard book, but pretty small print on a pretty big sheet of paper. And I should also say, I was doing this for my lessons. I'm currently studying with Matt Ernst. He's principal trumpet of the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. And what he's had me do with this book is I've been reading one chapter a week. So I've read this over the course of 6 weeks. So there's 6 chapters within here, just so you know that too. But I'm just going to read down the table of contents, and I might add a little bit here and there. So we have a foreword. Chapter 1 is all on concepts fundamental to development. 1.1, you are a product of the challenges you overcome. What an excellent quote. You are the product of the challenges you overcome. That's excellent. Imitate great musicians and create your own greatness. That's the first step as being a musician, is imitating other really, really good musicians. That's where I'm at, and that's where a lot of you are too, I'm sure, if you're watching this book, or watching this video on this book. Adapt the body to play a brass instrument. Jacobs is extremely knowledgeable in all things human anatomy, so it's really interesting getting his perspective on things. Strength is your enemy, weakness is your friend. I'll let you read that section on your own. Develop good habits, don't try to correct bad habits. I mentioned that, I believe, in one of my previous book reviews too. It's a lot easier to form new habits than take away old ones, so just focus on that. Create good habits away from your instrument. Use strangeness. Jacobs is a huge fan of using a bunch of different instruments. I briefly touched on it on that last book, and there's also a whole section in the very back, just like that one, that talks about the breathing bag, you know, all these different kinds of instruments that you can use to help learn away from your horn. Simple things like breathing exercises too, just different air speeds and all that kind of stuff is really, really good. Chapter 2, mental controls. 2.1, conceive, don't perceive. 2.2, use the brain to control the body by thinking of song and wind. Song, 85%, wind, 15%. Song, have it so strongly in your head. Always be making music. Always play musical. everything you do, even little simple exercises. Play everything with excellence and everything musically. I don't do a great job of that all the time when I'm playing boring exercises. I need to make them interesting. I want someone to, if someone was listening to me, would they pay to hear that? Oftentimes when I'm practicing, no, because I'm practicing, I'm not performing. Jacobs is a huge fan of thinking of everything you do as a performance, even in the practice room. 2.4, keep song dominant, kind of what I was just saying. 2.5, think product, not methodology. Think about the song, not think about what you want to sound like in Scheherazade, not or however the tongue works in there. Don't think about that. Don't be analytical. Think about what you want it to sound like. Let everything else fall into place. Chapter 3, the vibrating embouchure. 3.1, concentrate on song through buzz rather than the physical aspects of the embouchure. Same idea there. 3.2, you can blow without buzzing, you cannot buzz without blowing. Ain't that the truth? 3.3, buzzing on the mouthpiece and the mouthpiece rim will connect through, buzzing on the mouthpiece and mouthpiece rim will connect thought with tissue. I actually recently made a mouthpiece visualizer, so just the rim of it, and I found it very, very useful. A video will be coming out soon on how to make that. You can do no harm on the mouthpiece. That one I don't know if I agree with completely, but overall I think mouthpiece buzzing is I'm a huge proponent in it. If you do it correctly, it's good, and really you should be doing it correctly, but be wary. That's from me, not from Arnold Jacobs. 3.5, play music to develop embouchure, not the other way around. 3.6, embouchure problems often result from a lack of wind. I'll leave it at that. 3.7, feel the readiness of the embouchure to vibrate. Matt Ernst always tells me, can you taste the note? Do you know what that high B natural sounds like? Can you hear it in your head? Can you envision it? Can you picture yourself playing it? That's what you have to do. 3.8, synchronize buzz with breath and tongue, so just working it all together. Chapter 4, breathing. 4.1, by studying sound, you are studying breath. 4.2, always maintain good posture. That's good. 4.3, order air as external wind, not as internal pressure. 4.4, keep breaths full and relaxed. 4.5, focus on the psychology, not the mechanics of breathing. So how it works in your head. 4.6, establish good breathing habits through exercises away from the horn. Already touched on that. Chapter 5, articulating. 5.1, communicate with the tongue via diction. So there's some sections in here that talk about how to actually articulate. Ta, to, he spells it out. It's very, very good. 5.2, the tongue produces no sound. Very true. 5.3, tonguing problems can both cause and result from a lack of wind. Song and wind, baby. Chapter 6 is the last chapter. You're practicing and performing. 6.1, practice for an audience, not yourself. He says in here, you should always be trying to perform in front of people as often as possible for a number of reasons. It's different and it's hard to replicate when no one is watching. 6.2, practice should always be performed musically. I kind of already touched into that. 6.3, use vibrato, but not always. The not always part is an Adam addition. Use it correctly. Read the 6.3. 6.4, practice a variety of musical styles. 6.5, break phrases into manageable components. Trumpet players. 6.6, avoid excessive fatigue, you moron high note players. Don't be stupid. 6.7, vary range, volume, velocity, articulations, and equipment. 6.8 is excellent. Overcome nervousness. He talks about how to overcome nervousness. A lot of it is having the song so strongly in your head, you need to communicate to the audience. You have to be able to lie to the audience too. It's a good section. 6.9, set the stage, record, and listen. There's also a gem within that section. Record yourself playing. Don't analyze your playing while you're playing. Record and then analyze after. When you're playing, you should only be focusing on making the most beautiful sound and beautiful song that you possibly can create. That's what you should be focusing on. You shouldn't be thinking, oh, I wonder how my tongue vowel should be on this note, blah, blah, blah. There is a time for that, and don't be confused. There is a time for that, but during your playing, that's not the time. That's time for performance. That's time to let everything go and make the most beautiful music you possibly can. So there's a little overview of this book. It's excellent. I highly, highly recommend it. It's the best music book I've read so far. One of the best. It's probably my second favorite book I've read so far. Extreme Ownership beats this, but for brass playing, it's really, really good. It's only because he's a tuba player, but but the back of the book has a lot of really good exercises. I'll be honest, I haven't done any of them yet, but I'm very interested. They're all in bass clef. It's written for tuba. I can cite transpose, so it's not a big deal for me. But but if you're younger, this might be a little confusing if you're not a tuba player or a low brass player. But I was talking to my teacher about it, and he said there's a lot of really, really great exercises that he does himself quite often in here. So I'll be sure to check that out. And maybe I shouldn't be doing this review yet, because there is reading in here, but it's all exercises and comments on the exercises. So just know I haven't read or looked into any of this stuff yet. He also talks about all the breathing devices and everything. I talk a little bit about that in my Song and Wind review too. You know, it's just different external tools you can use to better yourself as a brass player. So yeah. Then there's other resources and stuff here you can check out, appendix and all that stuff. So this is an excellent book. If you are a brass player, it's a must read. If you are a trumpet player, I know it's a tuba player, but you gotta read it. It's really, really good. If you're a musician, a wind musician, there's a lot of really great stuff in here too. Obviously the buzzing thing might not be super helpful to you, but there are sections in here that I'm sure you would find useful. If you're not a musician, probably don't read it. You'll probably find it pretty boring, but please do read it. It deserves a spot on my shelf. I think I'm gonna put it in the back. That would make most sense. Always gotta reorganize there, but there we go. So if you like the video, please give me a big old thumbs up. Helps me out a ton. Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you never miss another video with me. Comment below if you have any recommendations for how I can make this series better. Also, if you have any other music book recommendations, I mentioned this on my Song and Wind video too. I don't know of all that many high quality music books. There's a few I know of that I want to read. I know Effortless Mastery is one. There's another book about Bud Herseth that I'm going to read within the next few weeks within the Sphere of the Master or something like that. But seriously, if you have any books in this zone, I'm very interested and I want you to comment them below. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.